Happy holidays, guys. I want to come on here and have a quick conversation with you. We're in the phase now where we're going into the part where your body is going to be transformed into what you want it to be. These are the phases here where you're going to be shaping yourself. For instance, your tummy is a little fat right now. You haven't gotten it all the way down. I'm going to show you guys how, when you go to work, put on a body shaper and wear it while you work. If you have something tight, to tighten it around your waist, you have to begin to know you have muscles in that intestinal part down there that are working for you. It may be still a little flat, but that's okay. Get up in the morning when you shower, look at your tummy in the mirror, rub your tummy, feel the muscles in there. You have muscles in your tummy. Maybe you have a little bit of stored fat. That's okay. You've been working out with me, just getting ready to change, right? So I want to give you a little bit of conversation about scientific knowledge on the body. This is a good time for it because we're getting ready to see what we've been working for, and that's the muscles come about. So I want to talk to you about the cell and about what's happening with the cell. Now, you know, our body is just one magnificent organism called a cell. We're just a huge cell. Everything in us is all cells, everything from top to bottom. A cell is what we are, right? Now, the cell take in energy and it convert it to fat for long-term use. Now, this energy that the cell it loves to take in sugar, because what it does with the sugar, it boom, it automatically turns into fat. It says, wait a minute, I got some sugar here. I'm going to take it and store it over here on this side, or put it on the butt or the arm, or wherever I can put it, because this is for later use, because I might be hungry. I'm going to keep this sugar on this organism. I want this organism here to keep this sugar inside of it. I want to lock this sugar cell up just in case I can't get nothing else. And so when the sugar cell is locked up, it turns into a fat molecule. It's not going to come out. It's just locked up into a fat molecule, and it's laying there on the side somewhere, just like a flower grows on the side of a mountain, or a flower comes out of a pot. If flower ain't going nowhere, it say, I'm stuck. I'm staying right here. You feed me, you nourishing me, you giving me all I need. I'm gonna stay right here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make more cells. I'm gonna make more flowers and plants. So you keep giving your body sugar, it just keep making more fat cells. It said, I'm gonna store up all I can in case I go into starvation and can't get it. I got it right here on me. Now, the insulin in your body, it will bind to the surface of sugar and take it into the fatty tissue. Your body has something called a pancreas, and it secretes insulin for you. This insulin wants to get that energy. It says, I need to take that into the fat. I need that energy because I might get hungry later. I might need that. I might not can get nothing. Might not be no more energy around. So that insulin goes out there. He says, I'm looking for a way to give me some energy for later. He's looking for sugar cell, right? So basically, sugar is our main source. It's our main source of energy. The body wants it. So a simple sugar is going to enter and give you energy rapidly. It's going to shoot you up. Oh, that donut was so good. I had some donuts yesterday, guys. You know, on a holiday, I sneak around and do a little tricky stuff. Eat, sample a little donut, eat a little this. So I had like 2 or 3 donuts yesterday and a big cup of coffee. So I'm down to just tea now because I know that you can't get away with putting that sugar in that coffee every day and think your belly button gonna go down. It ain't gonna work that way. So I'm on tea now. I had me some green tea for breakfast, some sleepy tea for nighttime. You know, get your teas, leave your sugars alone. So what happens is, I get so off the topic. Basically, sugar is our main source of energy. Now, simple sugars should not be your main source of energy because it's going to take your blood sugar spikes up. It's going to give you a lasting energy for maybe about 20 or 30 minutes. And then an hour later, you're going to be hungry. You're going to have to eat again. because all that did was went into your bloodstream and turned into a fat cell. Basically, it just turned into something extra. It was empty calories. It didn't give you, it gave you like, oh, I'm okay for now. It'll give you about 30 minutes of energy. You feel full for about 30 minutes, and maybe about an hour you're hungry again, because there was no calories there. It was a simple sugar. There's no calories. It's no protein in a simple sugar. It's nothing there. It's a simple carb. Now, if you get a complex carb, you're going to have a bit of a protein with that complex carb, and that's a plant food, which is going to let your hunger stay off a little longer, but it's still a carb. But it's not going to break down into a fat, so to speak. It's breaking down more into a protein. A complex carb is always better than a regular simple sugar or simple carb. Now, when we look at our cells, when we deprive our cells of that needed sugar, it look for another way of getting that. Say, for instance, you just say, I'm not going to eat no more sugar because I don't want to I don't want the fat cells laying on me. I'm going to eat something different. So the body says, okay, I need some protein then because I got to get my fix. So this is where it goes to your muscles for the energy. The body says, wait a minute, if I can't get the fat, I want to get into the muscle. I want the protein. I need some lean meat. You want some protein, right? So when you get that protein, that's that lasting energy. It's going to help you last longer because you got that protein there. But now look, back to sugar. Let me tell you about sugar. Sugar takes like 5 or 6 minutes to enter into your bloodstream, and it's going to give you a good boost of energy right away. However, the sugar is not long lasting. It turns into a fat cell. Now, maybe in a long run, if you needed that fat cell, if you was like on an island and you were starving, you could use that fat cell. But in the everyday life where you're not starving and you're going to continue to eat, then this is not the ideal boot kind of energy that you want. And another thing too, the way to get rid of these excess sugars out of your system, the way to really cleanse them out is to just drink lemon water. Drink 6 to 8 glasses of lemon water. It's going to help you flush those excess sugar cells out of there. You just drink lemon water. Drink lemon water. And back to protein. Protein comes from, it's going to be a really long name, endoplasmic reticulum. And these are transported into vesicles to the Golgi apparatus. This is like a science project, right? Then are further processed and sorted for transport to lysosomes, the plasma membrane or secretions from the cell. No protein digestions are done in the small. Protein digestion is done in the small intestine, something called the duodenum, and proximal jejunum of the small intestine. Proteins get in our blood through our lymphatic system, the lymph, and they are transported with the portal blood. So now, the lymphatic system, it carries all fluids, all proteins to the blood. And this system helps to rid you of your fat cells. When you're breathing oxygen off, the fat cells are breathing off. They're just coming on out of there. When you're working out and you're breathing, you're sweating, you're breathing off fat cells. Your lymphatic system, it needs liquids and it needs protein. It needs healthy protein to work. Now, the proteins are the building blocks of a beautiful, muscular, excellent looking body, firm and trim. Proteins are the building block. Now, the reason I wanted to explain to you about how this protein is transported, when the body is getting ready to get the protein in, the protein comes in, it can't just come into your bloodstream any kind of way. It goes through a process. The body says, wrap it up, put a bow on it, because my present is coming. Hey, my present is coming. It said, wrap it up. And when the body get the protein, it takes it through a different membrane that unwraps the protein. And when it unwraps the protein, it divides it and it says, let's sort it out so we can use it for good long-term energy. It unwraps the little present, right, with the bow on it. First of all, when the protein goes into the endoplasmic reticulum, it's transported through the visceral blood. It's transported in there. And it gets into a whole thing called the mitochondria. If you ever been to biology, it gets into a whole thing when you go to physics or something like that, and they start explaining about protein and the process of energy and how true energy is transported. The professor gets excited because he know this is going to be a topic that people going to have a lot of questions about. Anyway, the protein, it don't come in like a sugar. Like the sugar comes in, a simple sugar, even a complex, all sugars come in easy. The insulin get a hold of it and boom, it's in the bloodstream, it's doing its thing. Or it's going to just go be stored up into fat. The protein is the main building block of your body. And it's what keep you basically living. You got to have this energy called protein. Now, a lot of vegans eat a lot. You got to eat a lot of vegetables, or you got to be taking this protein through what they call yeast or something. You got to put the protein in there. You got to put it in there. You got to have it. So that's why I decided not to become a true vegan. I do eat vegan, but sometimes I will eat small amounts of meat or fish because your body has to have the building blocks. They are very complex building blocks. They are stored up, not as fat. They're stored up to go into your muscles, to go into those things that you use every day, like your brain, your liver, your muscles, your kidney, and your lung. Your proteins go into the real parts that's gonna make the mechanism spin. Understand? So when the body unwrapped this nice little gift, it says, let's sort these out. You might not even get that much protein. You might get a little small piece of meat on your plate. But the body said, I want to really sort. It ain't storing it just as some fat or something that can just melt off of you. It's storing it for true energy that'll take you a long ways. So it stores it up, it unwraps it, and there's a mechanism that sorts out the proteins. Then it goes into another little way where it's going over here for this energy, and the body holds it until it needs it for certain processes in the body. Then it releases. It releases a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here. Your body is a magnificent organism. You hear me? God made you a wonderful organism. You got all your inner workings doing everything in you for you. But the only part is you have to be smart enough to let it do the work. You can't turn around and say, I'm going to keep eating these simple sugars to get this quick energy because I don't have time to look at what foods I need. I don't have time to try and cook. I'm just going to grab whatever is in the freezer, in the freezer section, or grab whatever I can get from the corner store, fast food, donuts and coffees and things. I don't have time. I can live off of coffee and donuts. Hey, I can live off, hey, you can live off of fat because you're going to be a fat roly-poly if you're living off coffee and donuts. But anyway, my whole segment is about try to get that lemon water in, guys, to flush your system of simple sugars, okay? Your body needs the energy, but it does not need it every day. It cannot be a living thing. Your main thing has to be a protein, a complex carb, and yeah, you can have fiber. You need the fiber to get the proteins. You know, you got to be able to use a fecal. You got to be able to get it out. You need a complex carb. You need fiber. You need protein. If you have a simple sugar or a simple carb, let it be very rarely a holiday or a passing thing, a dessert maybe here and there. But it should not be a way of life that you living on these things. And then they wonder why there's a high incidence of diabetes and a high incidence of high blood pressure. because it's sugar and salt. You're living on it. I'm going to give you a video on sugar and salt. Our next video is going to be about measurements, measuring things. You need to know how to measure things. Okay, guys, have a good holiday. I'll talk to you later.